desk, pointy corners, pointy thinking, like go, 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 work harder, and it's so unlike the natural way where we came from with organic and curves and cycles and fresh air. And then you add into that a crisis or a trauma, which we all go through, right? It's part of life. How are we supposed to process that when we already are outside of ourselves, right? We're in this, we feel we're not connected to ourselves. And then we have a crisis that's brought in and we're lost. So it's like, how are we going to fix that?
Hello, my name is Brandy Hofer. Welcome to the Color Me Happy podcast. I'm so grateful you're here, and I'm very grateful for your time. You are going to feel so empowered with our episodes and our guests because they live a truly passionate life. They're excited about what they do. They know that creativity matters and that your art matters and that it matters to following your passion in life to ultimately see your everyday ordinary as extraordinary. These episodes are almost unedited, very raw, so it'll feel like you're sitting down for coffee with a friend. Feel free to reach out anytime at Brandy Hofer Studios on Instagram and subscribe for more content just like this. Thanks for being here.
Wow, I can't believe you've done that much today.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like everyone wakes up and it's spring and they're like, let's do it. And I'm like, okay. Talked a lot about how I can't say no today. That's for sure.
It's so funny. I was thinking that same thing. I was like, okay, she's Superwoman and everything is yes. Amazing.
Yeah, pretty much. Just everyone reach out and I'll be like, okay.
Sure.
I'm there. Yeah. So it's okay. It's cool to be in that season because I felt like for many decades I was like, hey, wouldn't this be cool? Anyone? Don't you think? Just trust me, I got this, right? Like you're like, I'm cool and we'll have a blast. Like just art is awesome. And now people are like, oh, art and artists are awesome. And it makes me feel good. And yeah, it's so funny.
Well, that's good. I love that.
Yeah. Kate, did you answer? Did we have a topic? Because we had so many emails trying to get a date that I'm like, where are the answers? I don't know.
It's okay. It's because of my technical inabilities that all of our emails were like, what do I press this button? Well, what time zone? I mean, ridiculous, but
yeah, the time zone thing gets me too.
And each spring and fall, it takes me 2 weeks for my body to adjust to the time change as well. So it's like I hate the time change with every fiber of my being. But so yeah, you had reached out to me because I had done a thing that I never do and did a post where I came clean about everything that had happened in the last 15 years in our lives and how creativity had basically saved me. And so that's kind of what I wanted to talk about because you said, well, come on the podcast and we'll talk about exactly that. So
perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you. Let's do it. Yeah, no, let's do it for sure. I know I would like statistics and data on hospital visits around the time change so they can finally say, oh, this is bad for everyone.
Oh, me too.
Like school sicknesses and viral health, like around those exact times every year. It's like, oh, weird. The time change and we had Halloween and everyone's gonna die. Like, what's like not die? Sorry, that was an over exaggeration and being melodramatic. But when you have children under 10, it feels very hard. Okay, so
how arrogant though, right? How arrogant. Oh, we don't like that it's dark, so we're gonna manipulate the time because we're humans, right? It's insane.
Yeah.
It's not natural.
Like, it messes with your rhythms of life every year twice. And then we're all miserable at the exact same time and everyone wonders why.
Yeah.
But everyone complains about it, so I'm not sure. Okay, I want to know what inspired the post. Tell our audience about that. Like, what inspired you to take that brave step?
I think what inspired me was that it had finally um, come to an end. So our son came back to us. So the whole issue was all the struggles that we'd had as a family with our two children, and more so our son, but our daughter as well. But our son left us in 2011. And so that's 14 years ago.
Oh my
And
gosh.
yeah, long haul. And he's now back at 29, and he's healthy and he's in recovery, and we all have a relationship with him. And so it feels like I can talk about it now because I'm not in complete and utter crisis mode. So it doesn't mean that everything's perfect, but it's pretty much feels like a miracle. So I think that is why I came out, because I just felt like I was able to. I was strong enough to. So I guess I needed to. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And it takes that like level of vulnerability, but also other people going through those same motions, right?
Mm-hmm.
That you're like, I am too. And it's a good way to connect.
Most definitely. Yes, definitely.
And in
Um,
my genuine experience, people are kind.
yes, I agree. I agree. This was more about also sensitive creature that I am. I'm a basket case with input overload and sensory over arousal, and then add to it this stuff that for me it was just like a big step. Like, I can do this. I'm a grown woman and I can get a handle on my emotions, and I can just put this stuff out there, because like you say, so many other people have. And I just thought, I can't do that. I can't do that. So it was just I guess a really important step for me. So feels good.
Yeah.
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 And people have been
How is
really supportive.
Yeah, okay, so we first met through you applied for Call for Art, right?
That's
Which
right.
no
That's right.
longer doing.
Very good.
Yeah, no, so it was so good because I still connect with creatives from those, like, I don't know how many, 3 or 4 I did. It was just I couldn't take on the admin of running
Oh,
shows. But
yay.
like
You drew a boundary.
I did one of very few in my life. Um, I did love it though for the community connection alone. But
Mm,
of course, our online education has formed its own community, which is great
yeah.
too. But like there was something about showing with other female artists, because they were calls for female artists, women artists, and there was just something so crazy about it. And we all supported one another and bought each other's work, and like it
Yeah.
was pretty nice.
Yeah, it's like news bulletin, artists actually buy art. We love art and we love buying other artists' art. Yeah.
Yeah, or trading. Like
Yes.
trading's a really great way to build your connection.
Yes. Agreed. For sure.
So has your creative process helped you through like a difficult time, say
Mm.
with your son? Like how has it been there for you?
Well, I mean, I was creative as a little child, like a lot of us. And when I got older, it just kind of went by the wayside with life. And so I guess I was in that period where I probably hadn't been doing anything creative. I mean, that's not true. There was always something, but it was more, say, decorating my house or taking photos. But I hadn't done anything um, in the painting area, which is really what I love, for years. And a year after our son left the house, and it was a very bad year, I just inexplicably, I can't even answer that. I just picked up my paintbrushes. I just felt this. I was like, I think I need to paint. So I just went with it. And I actually had never really painted before. It was lots of other creative things when I was younger. Yeah, I know. I guess I must have always wanted to, but hadn't done it yet. So I just got some materials and just started exploring. So I was making crap, like, to be fair, but I
Hey,
just noticed how it felt, right? I just was like, okay, all those feelings that I had, you know, bewilderment and anger and fear and anxiety and all the things I was going through as a mother whose son was somewhere out in the universe, like being a crazy child. Um, when I painted, even though I was making like messy nothing, it was replaced with calm and this sort of centeredness. And I really noticed that. Like I don't want to say lose myself because you didn't lose yourself, but I just, it helped bring me back to who I was instead of like that, you know, that anxiety spiral in your head that you just lived all day long. Like, where is he? What is he doing? What did I do wrong? Like, you could drive yourself mad. And so because of that, I wasn't so aware of it then. It's more when I look back now, right? It's not like I was so on the ball then, but I started a regular practice of it, right? So my daughter would go to school. She's 5 years younger than him. So she would go to school in the daytime, and I would just naturally end up with paper and paint and canvas all over the table for however long. Sometimes it wasn't very long, but it became a daily thing and it became something that I needed. So
I think
hope,
everyone does in their lives to some
yes.
degree.
Yes. And I
Uh,
think that's where I've come to with this. Like, I don't really know where I'm going with all of this. I mean, I'm an artist, that I know. But as far as what we're talking about and why I came out with it is because I feel like, hopefully you'll agree with me, the world that we live in, our society, is just such a left brain society, you know, where it's about the emphasis is on productivity and you know what you're all the external stuff that you have to show for life rather than, and there's this weakness where um, we're not doing inner work or you know, getting in touch with our intuition, all those things that are light right brain activities, including creativity, because they're not really productive by the
mm,
terms of the world.
useful, deemed useful in an
Exactly.
industrialized
What can you
society.
do with that? What does that get you? Is it, I don't see a car, I don't see money, or well, sometimes, but I just feel like we've lost our way a little bit. So I also think when people hear creativity, they think, oh, well, she's an artist or, you know, a musician, a writer, right? But there's so many other avenues to be creative in. Even if you think, oh, I can't draw a stick man, right? Which I hear all the time. That's my husband. I mean, he's a great example. He says he couldn't draw with a gun to his head. He couldn't make a thing that looked like anything. But he has an incredible sense of humor and he's into sports. So he started doing podcasts for his hockey group and they all love them and they beg him and his other buddy to do more of them. That's creativity. Like that's a
Oh
form of
yeah,
creativity, right? Whether it's
within your
gardening,
passion.
and it's your
Yeah.
interest, and yeah, and so I think everybody could get something if they found what it was, they, whether it was cooking or gardening or podcasting or problem solving or whatever, right? It doesn't have to be paint
Hmm.
or getting a guitar or, you know, those conventional modalities. So
Yeah, or having more than one passion, being multifaceted, and it's a matter of
yes,
people giving other people permission to do so, which is lacking, and we're in a very consumption based time, so
yeah,
people are caught in a cog of like, this is what I need to be in order to function in society, and
yeah,
then what would it look like if I stepped out of that? And you have to somewhat think for yourself, and I don't
yes,
think this we have the confidence or are creating confident people in order to even make that informed decision for themselves, right?
mm,
And I I think maybe older generations always say this about the younger generation, but I am quite concerned about the younger generations when it comes to screen time and consumption time.
ah,
Like, obviously as adults we know it's addicting, but then they have like so many other, like, even highly addictive uh things. And I didn't love Adolescence on Netflix, but it's #1 on Netflix.
Oh,
I don't know if you watched it.
I didn't because it triggers too much for me, but my husband did. And he said, like,
Yeah, I was
wow.
like, that could not, that
Oh,
wouldn't be a fun
yeah.
watch for you. It was
No.
not a fun watch for me.
No, and I was living it. Yeah, of course. Anyone with children, it's stressful, right? It's like, ah. Yeah,
Yeah, like
I hear
I
you.
work with youth quite a bit, and um the unfortunate, and I don't want to go too far down this rabbit hole, the amount they obsessively talk about Fortnite because they're addicted.
The
I
game.
don't allow my kids, because right away, like if they've played it once or twice or for a couple hours, like they start like just showing all those,
Yeah, yeah,
the terrible qualities in any human, and you're like,
yeah,
I'm gonna hide the PlayStation forever. I don't know, like, because
yeah.
it's free and every kid can have access to it, and they'll get up at like 5:30 or 6 a.m. if it's there. Like, it's
Mm.
insane. Like, it's
No, I
addicting.
know.
So then, not only that, but like, I'm not a browser, so I'm not up with the slay skibbity trends. I don't know what they mean. And that's not the content. I get beautiful art content fed to me. Like,
Exactly.
yeah, so by women my age, so lucky in that regard. But yeah, like, what they're fed through the algorithm, right? And it's constantly, and then it can get carried away in terms of
Of
adolescence, which
course.
I strongly suggest you not watch, but every other parent who has young children, because we are in an age where, if and you are angry as a teenager, every teenager is
Yes.
angry. It's
And
just
suspicious of their elders, right? Like,
right, like that
yeah,
is, it's just their
part of
genetic.
being an
So
adolescent.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's just
yeah,
what it is. So then they can really fall down into a hole, a
yes,
terrible one. There's so many
yes.
examples, but let's wrap it back around. Creativity for you, is it like a super safe bridge? And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, everyone wants to be liked by their children, but
Mm,
honestly, I just take it away, bite the bull, like rip off the band-aid. I just, like, they can have an iPad when we fly. Like, they
right.
don't get it. They just,
Good for
it's
you.
just, well, I
That's
I know
not
I
easy
asked
though
a
either.
10-year-old
Like,
if they knew how to use a phone, and the
yeah.
TA who's helping her is like, is that like a serious question? And I was like, I don't let my kids on the phone. I don't know who knows how to. I'm like, but now that I think about it, it's a dumb question. you know?
Wow.
So
Wow. Well,
yeah.
I applaud you because that would be a difficult, like, depending on the personality of your children. I mean, they're relentless too, right? If they want something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
that's
But they
tough.
eventually give it up and go dig tunnels in the snow hill behind her house with their friends.
Hallelujah. Amazing. Amazing. Success.
Yeah.
That's the definition of
Yeah.
success to me, right? They're playing outside. Oh my God.
I know, we're really lucky with where we live. Um, so I want to go back to how creativity, and did you find like connection and community with your creativity too? Like, did that help?
Yes. I mean, yes and no. But then that's not the community fault. That's my fault. I definitely migrate to being alone. And that is not because I don't love community. It's because I alluded a little bit. It's because I have this sensitive system and I didn't understand it for such a huge part of my life, but I pick up more stuff. How do I put it? So I get
You're emotionally
overwhelmed.
intelligent. You're an
Okay.
empath and you're emotionally intelligent.
Yeah. And so it just about did me in because I thought I was always afraid and I thought there was something wrong with me. And it's like, what is going on? So, but the way that I dealt with it, I mean, I'm a very social person. No one would say, oh, she's got problems with expressing herself, or I'm not, I'm an introverted extrovert. Okay. So, or I'm sorry, I'm an extroverted introvert. So I hide it well, but I have to have a lot of alone time just to so that I
Recharge.
can catch up to all the stuff that I pick up, right? So that I can just sort of
Yeah.
get myself back centered. So because of that, I sort of avoided the community aspect because I knew what it would do, right? It would be good, but then it would be exhausting. So I've just started more eking out there now. Um, I've we moved to Victoria during COVID, and so that was a new community for me. And what might have been hard for other people during COVID was easy for me, like being alone in my studio and being in a new community. I was totally down with that. I was fine with that. But afterwards, I slowly started to come out of there a little bit with other people. And it's problematic because when you're a mother who's partially shut down because she doesn't know where her son is and if he's alive, every time you go out and you interact with someone, there's the possibility that the conversations can be, well, oh, my kids, but how are your kids? So there's this thing that you're always like, oh God, am I up for this today? Can I handle this conversation? Do I want to go down this path? So I just avoided a lot of that.
Yeah.
So to answer that,
Understandably so.
yeah, it was just a coping mechanism. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, but
Mm-hmm.
yes, community's amazing. I've joined a little group of ladies here who are artists. And I help anytime I can, but I'm better at helping one-on-one than I am in a group, right? It's just like one person at a time that I can manage. A group, I enjoy it, but then I pay for it, sort of thing.
Right. Like
Yeah.
socially
Exhausted. Yes.
yeah. So there are, and creatives typically fall into this is yeah, and I as well feel very similarly to how you feel. When I am very social, I'm like, oh, like after this today with our third
The third,
social
yeah.
third podcast meeting, and I had to go to a office and drop off art and do stories at their event. Like I'm just, and now then I have hockey with my son's team. I'm gonna be like, I'll probably get sick.
Oh,
Like
exactly.
I calendared
Exactly.
the day. I couldn't help it. It's just the way it ended. But like already I feel absolutely
Like done.
drained. And I'm a recharge alone person as well. Like overstimulation, loud crowds, loud.
Yeah.
I know yeah, seems social, fine.
Yeah.
In the time I get a little high and like
Yeah.
feed off, and then I just like crash.
Oh,
'Cause
yeah. So
right?
you get it.
So I totally get it.
Yeah.
And oversensitive, over analytic, stupid memory for what people look like, say, or do, or how they react.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. But it comes with that level of emotional intelligence comes with very great perks too, right?
Yes. Yes.
Like you can read a room really well. You can get where people are going, the right thing to say,
Yeah.
in the right moment in time,
Yeah.
because you have the ability to read people and gauge a situation and be flexible. They say some of the most successful people are very fluid and flexible in their ability to meet someone on their level, right?
Yes.
So
To quickly pivot, to feel it and react in an
like,
appropriate way.
this person's upset right now.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna let's talk.
Tone it right down.
Let them go through that.
Yeah.
So I
Yes.
think it's very good. Like you're a very good friend. You're a very good, you can meet people at their level. I think a lot of people don't catch on to those sorts of small intricacies of human nature. And you get to have a fun job.
Exactly. Which I'm grateful for every day. So
how's
no
the
complaints.
community in Victoria? So what inspired that move? Because I know lots of great creatives in Victoria.
I bet you do.
We met actually a couple times. We had like a group podcast with Susan Salvati. Sorry,
yes,
Susan, if I said your name
that's
wrong.
right.
Kylie O'Grady. Oh my gosh,
Andrea Seuss.
No, I don't know Andrea Seuss. Everyone always talks about her though.
Amber Lomax, maybe. Jess Dupuis.
Jessa Dupuis.
Yes, Jess Dupuis.
Yeah, I just talked about her 2 podcasts ago, so I don't know why I forgot it. She's awesome. Yeah, yes. We had Susan had us over and we did like a live. Yeah,
amazing.
It's so cool. Amazing. If I come again this summer, we'll have to meet up.
Yeah, that would be wonderful. Well, though, I mean, a couple of those gals are in the group that I'm in. So I've somehow gotten into the same path as, yes, the one you know. And it's great here. There's tons of artists. There's a really cool building here you may know of. It's called, I had looked there to get a studio. It's called Rock Bay. No, Rock Bay? Rock Bay Studios. Oh, it's so bad of me. I think so. But it's this old Art Deco building with like 3 or 4 floors on it, and it's all artists. It's run by an amazing
Oh.
guy, Logan, and he does all the business side. It's a lease with a developer who something's going to happen to that building eventually, but or maybe not. Maybe not. Logan kind of wants to keep it permanently as this hub of art. And it's amazing. They hold events there. They'll do a like an open house, and it allows each of the studios to open up, and it's a cool thing. So
Oh, I'll have to check it out.
yeah, I
I
hope I've
definitely
got that.
haven't been there.
Yeah, it's really cool. Definitely. Yeah. So and how it came about, we've wanted to live in Victoria for years, but you know what it's like when you've got kids in school, you've got businesses,
Oh,
you're
moving feels
entrenched.
like the last option.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So probably, I don't know, 15 years later, we did what we had talked about. So the reason that it happened was because of COVID. I mean, you know what that's like. Everything down. Our business is closed. There was nothing going on. And so we looked at each other and we said, well, let's list the house and see what happens. And the house sold in a day. We said,
Oh my gosh.
okay, yeah, it's happening. It's real. We're going. So yeah, that's what we did.
Where were you based before?
In Kelowna.
In Kelowna.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I grew up there and I met my husband there. He's from Montreal. So, I mean,
Oh. Do you go
yeah,
back to Montreal often too?
we did for a long time. Yeah, he's got one brother
It's
still
pretty
there.
far.
It is. Yeah, exactly. Canada's a big country and Montreal's pretty far away.
Yeah, I learned
Yeah.
how big it was. I was like, I'm gonna go to art school, and it was Emily Carr and ASCAD basically were the big art school choices.
Yeah.
And I just like assumed as a young person that they were like equal distance. Like every 8
Oh,
or 19-year-old, like totally unaware
who
of
cares
like
about geography, right? I didn't pay attention to it either. I'm terrible at it.
it's also like coming from no money. Like we never flew anywhere.
Yes, right,
I had
right.
no way to
No
gauge.
concept. Yeah.
Yeah, no concept of like, yeah, like Halifax quite a bit further. Had I known that, I would have picked the easier flight home because I'm such
Yes.
a family person.
Yes.
I didn't know I was a family person, of course, until I moved away.
Till you
right?
left.
And
Yeah.
yeah, I left really far away. And
Yeah.
the coasts are a little too cloudy compared to the open skies of the prairies where you
That
get
is a
a
beautiful
little
thing
more
about the
sun.
prairies. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. The sunsets and the go on for days and
So
so do the
beautiful.
sunrises
Yeah.
and yeah, tons of open sky. And
Yeah.
like I'm definitely not a rain person. My
Yeah.
mom bought me a rain suit. I was like, what the heck do I need this ugly thing for? And then I walked to school one day while it was raining. I was like, to not be wet all day at school. Like that's how little it rains here. Like I
Yeah.
didn't know what a rain and walking, right? Like a more transient city. Like you have
Yes.
to walk everywhere. Like you just drive here if it's raining.
Yeah.
So it was so funny. I was like, what do I
Yeah.
need this stupid mom? Ew. What do I need this stupid suit for?
Your mom knew.
She knew. Very wise woman. Yeah, so wow, that's really cool that you ended up in Victoria and like really great timing to be out of Kelowna. And
Yes.
unfortunately, they've hit some terrible times, and you have that like great creative community that you can now connect with and be a part of because it sounds like there's like regular meetups, studio things, like
Yes.
shows and lots of stuff happening.
Yes, it's my job to get out there more. I definitely don't partake in nearly a fraction of what's going on out there. So I'm aware of it, but
Markets are hard. I like I definitely pass on markets now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I would never want to do that again ever.
Oh, I'm not even talking about markets, frankly, Brandy. Markets are off the table because they're
Yeah.
way too much work and way too exhausting. So they're like I did one when I started here and I was like, yeah, okay, done with that.
I get it. Yeah. So advice for any artist, probably not.
Well,
Like I
I mean, it
haven't really
depends though,
taught.
right?
Some artists do really well.
Yeah, and also if they're
But
not, if they can manage all of that, right? Like if they can manage all that time in the public, some artists maybe thrive on it. I don't know. Or like, are we all the same? I don't know.
yeah.
But
Generally, I would say
artists find
for
it
the most
difficult.
part, no one enjoys it.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
there
yeah.
is the odd, like, it depends. Like, opportunities come from everything you do, right? So you're putting
Yeah.
yourself out there, you're getting in front of
Yes.
eyes.
Yes.
Luckily,
yes.
I just prefer to be online now. So it's way easier.
Yeah. I know
But
there's a downside to that though, right? Like there is a downside. It sort of keeps you insulated. Because
yeah, yeah.
when you're talking about getting out there, I'm thinking of like things that are really manageable, like just going to a show opening, like a little gallery's having an opening. You can't imagine the mountain of excuses I come up with why I can't go. Like it's ridiculous. I'm aware of what I'm doing.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm just trying to do that more, but
You should. I don't
yeah.
have those here. We
Oh,
don't have art openings. No.
oh, okay.
Yeah, I live in a very smaller-ish place. There's no gallery.
Okay. You're in St.
I'm on the border of Saskatchewan and Alberta, in between Saskatoon and Edmonton.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so no one knows. But that's okay. It's cold. That's all you
What's
need
it
to know.
called?
Lloydminster. It's
Lloydminster.
great.
Okay.
Yeah, there's events to go to. And lucky me, I'm one of the few artists.
Well, there
So
you go. There
yeah,
you go.
that's a perk. My friend Verna Brown, who does pet portraits and animal portraits, she does
Yeah.
really well at markets and gets lots
Yeah.
of commission-based work from. So if
Yes.
that's like, if you have a very niche thing you do and
Yes.
you're like, this is what I do, and if you want one, or if you want one done, like that's
She probably never has to worry. She just is always has work to do because
right.
people love their dogs and want them painted or their cats or whatever.
Right. That's not going to change.
Yeah. No,
Never.
it's never going to change.
No.
Exactly.
And she does colorful, fun work. So
Verna Brown.
it's like what works for you. Yeah, Verna Brown. I think she was in BC too. I don't remember, or do you remember Thrive?
Yes.
Yeah, I
Yes.
was in a pod with some women from Victoria too, but like a
Yes.
pod. Was it based out of Victoria?
I think it
I can't
was. I
remember.
thought
Yeah.
Andrea spearheaded that. I thought.
And Tara? I'm not good with names.
Oh, Tara, yes. Yeah. I thought Tara lived in Vancouver.
Yeah,
But
maybe.
Vancouver, Victoria could have been one pod, right? They're pretty close together.
Yeah, I wasn't in their pod, but I was in an awesome pod, and it must have been lots of BC artists, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So it was good. But that's that element, like as a person who recharges alone, it's always good to put yourself in situations where you'll connect with other wonderful creatives, have a show, an experience, and as exhausting as it is, it does like fill your social connection cup.
Well, one other thing that I did, I guess intuitively, which really works for me, is my studio. What, I mentioned I was looking at Rock Bay. The reason I didn't go there, because it is amazing, is because I found a space, or actually my husband found a space for me in a really busy, it's called Fantan Alley, and it's like a,
oh yeah,
you know the movie Bird on a Wire? Yeah, it's like this really narrow alley. It's well known. It's been filmed in movies, and it gets tons and tons of walk-through traffic.
Tons of traffic.
Tons, yes. Well, okay, let's qualify that. So there's the narrow alley, which is Fantan Alley, and then
which causes me claustrophobia every time.
I'm claustrophobic, but funny, it doesn't do that for me. I guess because it's
so
open
tall.
to the sky. Yeah, it's really tall, but it is.
I'm like,
really
this is cool.
narrow.
Let's get out of here.
Well, if there was tons of people in there, I might feel that way too. Like if I was hemmed in, I probably would start to like
Well, we're
sweat on the
usually
back.
there in the summer, right? So it
Yeah,
is
so when
pretty
it's busy.
busy. Yeah.
Yeah. So my little studio is off of the narrow alley. There's a set of stairs about like a third of the way in, and you go down these stairs, and then it's a little like a little U shape that takes you back out to the street, just half a block up. And between, so at the front of that is a chocolatier and a bakery. So I'm like, oh yeah. And then my place is, if you go past those two from the street into the corner right by the stairs. So I have like a 2-story, like a little pied a terre with stairs upstairs where I keep all of my finished paintings. And then I call it a studio gallery, so that because it has a front door, so
Yes.
people get that they can come in. So that is my, you know, brave connection to the public, is my
That
door
is
is
a
always
spot.
open. Isn't that great? Because then people come
Yeah.
in, and it's usually like, you know, sometimes there's a group, but usually it's like 2 or 3 people, or, you know, one person, and it's really good for me because I'm interacting, but it's not a big performance that I feel, you know, challenged by. So it's really good. I feel really lucky.
Have you ever thought about taking on artists?
I
Or have you
have.
already?
I have not. I have. Okay, let's preface this. It is tiny. It's 167 square feet on 2 floors. So it's this little postage stamp. And I've looked physically because I get asked if I'll do art lessons. And I'm thinking, like, how could I do this? I could maybe do one person, maybe two. There is a little courtyard out front of my place, like a gathering courtyard, which would be perfect. But they do tours right there. So,
Oh no.
like, you know, you get
Darn.
20
Yeah.
people standing right there to have the guide with the thing on, and he's talking about everything downtown. And I don't know who coordinates that. I really should check into that, because
Yeah.
that would be cool. Like if I could use that space. It's in
Yeah,
my
as a
head.
workshop space.
Yeah.
Well, even like mini shows, or like I
Yeah.
always love when artists work together. You know what I mean? And that's such
Yes.
a good area, and it's so cute.
It
And
is.
like those group shows, like I
Yes.
said, like it's a great way to make friends. It's a great
Yeah.
way to,
That's true. Actually, that's a really good idea.
like even having one or two featured, like even one person featured with one or two artworks a month on top of yours, because it's your
Right.
space, but
Right.
this is your gallery space,
Yeah.
and it's like we get this much in traffic, and here's a cute spot, and this is
Yeah.
yours to do with what you will, and
That's a good
apply here
idea.
like a small
Yeah.
application fee, so people take it seriously. I think it'd be
Right.
such a good idea.
Brandy, the little businesswoman.
Yeah. Can we shut it off ever? Nope. Not even at 3 a.m.
Oh
What if
no.
we create an arts district? Like seriously. Like what if
Oh.
I run a little art academy? Let's do an 8 right now, and I've got myself into quite the pickle. I'm like, let's do an 18-foot cobra, because the school is
That's the
a
mascot.
that's the man. I was like, art academy. Let's do also, but an under the sea exhibition at the same time.
Oh my gosh.
I know. I'm like, what am I doing? I'm like, pace out your ideas, dude. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
because it
Oh,
doesn't
that's
shut off ever, which I don't want it to shut off. I tried Ativan once this year.
oh yeah, probably didn't go well, I'm sure.
Um,
Like,
it shut my extra
yeah,
off.
yeah.
It shut down the creative that I love so much, even if she wakes me up from time to time.
Yeah, there's always a downside, right? An
I
upside and a downside.
know.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
So this is
um,
your life.
I'm fine without it. Yeah, I am fine without it. I do
Yeah.
burn out from time to time, but not that bad that often. So,
You've become accustomed to it. You've managed it obviously well. So, I
yeah,
mean,
only have to run every morning and
yeah,
do
yeah.
all the things, right?
I
It's like
wonder.
radical self-care.
Yes, exactly. And I mean, you have a young family, so you're going hard. And I imagine, I mean, unless you're extra, extra, which you might be, but when you get older and your kids are, you know, on their way and self-sufficient, you might notice a shift in yourself because I used to be like you, where you're just like, okay, that's it. I'm done. I'm moving from this level to this level, and that's I need to recharge like for years.
Yeah,
I mean,
I think every mother might go through that.
yeah,
And they say, pardon me, when you go through menopause, yeah, you're like carrying button, your empathy button shuts off. So I'm
totally.
ready for
So
that.
yeah, the ultimate
Not
irony.
giving a shit.
Yeah, exactly. I read it somewhere that a woman said, it's interesting that men make fun of us when we have when we're on our menstrual cycle, because really at that time we're more like men.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
it's like,
hormonally, like that's
right,
when hormonally
hormonally.
we're closest
Yes.
to the way. So I'm like, really hate to be a man because I am not in a good place right now. Like I would be angry all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so interesting. Yeah. How hormones, like, it's like we need to be this way
Yes.
for this season of life.
Yes.
And then we no longer need it. And that's why women are more evolved than men in that way. And that's why we live longer and have better memories. We're the storytellers. The evolutionary storytellers were meant to keep knowledge. And in indigenous culture, like our menstrual cycles are worship, they're a gift, because we're always shedding and we're always cleansing. Right, like that's why they have sweats. And so men can experience that same, release and shedding of so it's so funny that
it's so true. And then look at our I'm reading this book. I'll show you. Have you seen this? It's Martha Beck is the author. So it's called Beyond Anxiety, Curiosity, Creativity, and Finding Your Life's Purpose. It is so good, Brandy.
Wow.
I'm not anxious, which I have discovered from reading this book. She's really, really lays it out. But in there, she talks about how unnatural the way we live is. Obviously, indigenous cultures know this. They're like rolling their eyes at me even saying this, and I know it too, but when you read it the way she puts it, like so many of us, not you and I, but are working long hours in a building inside with piped in air, like whether it's whatever, cold or hot, fluorescent lights, in this rigid environment, square desks, pointy corners, pointy thinking, like go, 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 work harder, and it's so unlike the natural way where we came from with organic and curves and cycles and fresh air. And then you add into that a crisis or a trauma, which we all go through, right? It's part of life. How are we supposed to process that when we already are outside of ourselves, right? We're in this, we feel we're not connected to ourselves. And then we have a crisis that's brought in and we're lost. So it's like, how are we going to fix that? Well, creativity is one way, like I just wish everybody would embrace that and not say, well, I'm not creative. I can't. It's a non-starter. Like they just shut off.
I see all the time people who have never painted before take our portrait class and like be like totally blown away.
You're like,
they're like, I love this. This is the best. I did this with my 11-year-old son. I'm also doing it, and like we both made these incredible pieces, and I'm always like, this is gorgeous and stunning and great job, but I am not surprised. Like
exactly.
They're surprised,
you know how this works.
But like this is
but they're surprised.
But they're very surprised, and it's so cool. But it's funny, the book by what's his name? Something Harvey, Happiest Toddler on the Block, talks exactly about like us being closed off, like it's for making the happiest toddler on the block, right? Closed off from community, like we used to have a village of support, and now yes, people are in apartments and condos. And how do you, like, your babies need to experience dirt, and
they need to be outside,
and they need to experience different and be exposed to outside and other people. And like I know as a parent, especially in those early years, like my first move when everything's turning around, as long as everyone slept and eaten,
Yeah.
is like outside, and then
Yes.
eat, sleep outside, eat, sleep
Totally.
outside. Like
Totally.
I'm so grateful to have little boys, because if I wouldn't go outside as much. And now I have a bike, I have rollerblades, I have every
Yeah.
apparatus, and I run and every
So
apparatus
you
to
can keep
like,
up with your boys, right? Like
yeah,
to,
like we're
yeah.
always out, because yeah, they're insane. Like it's an insane amount of disgusting energy.
So true, right? The whole Mars and Venus thing, boys. Oh boy. Three
Oh,
boys.
I logged in with my son's hockey team and someone farted. I was like, guys, gross.
And they all laugh, right?
Gross. Oh,
It's
you're
the
like,
best thing
oh,
ever.
who did that? And I'm
Let's
just
talk
like,
about poo. Boys.
this is my life. This is my life
Yeah.
for the next decade, for sure, of organized sports, of experiencing all this stuff. But and helping out with the team, right? So it's so funny.
Yeah.
Anyway, I loved having you here. Where can everyone find you online?
Oh, my website is vikkidrummondart.com. That's probably the easiest place. I'm on Instagram too, just Vikki Drummond. Um, yeah. And my studio, obviously, in Fantan Alley, if you're in
There we go.
Victoria.
I will be there.
Good.
Visit you. Yeah, well, we go every year. Oh, sorry, I didn't even say that. We have a quarter share, or my husband's family has a quarter share. So, or
Oh,
2 or 3 or something.
okay.
That's
Nice. In
something I should
Victoria.
know. Yes. So we go to Bear Mountain all the time.
Oh, awesome. How
Yeah,
nice
so
for you
we at
guys.
least
So
go once a year. Yeah.
nice.
So I'm thinking of, this might be a mistake, but thinking of driving there this year instead of
Oh,
flying,
ooh. Well,
with some stops. With some stops.
I mean, that's
Could be
totally
fun.
doable.
They
Yeah.
say it's important when your kids are between 5 and 10 to travel as much as possible,
Yeah.
because they still like you
Yes.
and stuff,
Yes, exactly. These are the
right?
years.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, you know what? Driving would be a great idea. I mean, it'd be
In
more
theory,
relaxed.
maybe not in
Well,
practice.
I don't know. I mean, air travel is not great, right? Like it's a bit
Yeah. It's
challenging.
not
So
bad. It's an hour and 42-minute flight, so it's definitely not bad.
no, but
Um,
that's of actual flying,
yeah,
right?
right. All the
What
other
about
stuff.
all that part
We also
before?
have to drive to the airport 2 hours. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
Yeah, I thought it would be a cool thing to do, but I
Mm,
feel like I should plan it now, because everyone's planning on going through Canada this summer. I'm
probably.
sure. Yeah,
It,
because of like, let's travel to Canada
yes.
theme, right?
Yes, I think you're
Final
right.
question,
Yep.
sponsored by Red Bicycle Communications. If you had unlimited funds for your community for one day, what would you do?
Oh my goodness. On the spot question. What would I do? Mm. Well, there's a street behind us called Fisgard, which is beautiful. It's part of Chinatown. Maybe we could get the street closed off and have a big painting session,
Nice.
get people to
I
try it
love it.
out.
That's great. Yeah,
Hmm.
connecting to creativity. I love it.
Yeah, I'm trying.
You
Well,
got
Brandy,
this.
thank
Yeah,
you so
slowly but
much.
surely, baby steps. Yeah,
Yeah, baby
thanks,
steps.
Vikki. Yeah, we'll chat soon. We'll keep in touch. I'll let you know when I'm there.
Okay, sounds wonderful. Take care.
Okay, see ya.
Bye.
If you have any questions, feel free to reach out on Instagram at Brandy Hofer Studios anytime. I'm happy to chat. That's where I sit. And I'm so glad you're here, and I cannot wait for you to dive in. So give us a like and subscribe, and check the rest of our channel.
If you want to feel empowered and inspired, like and subscribe for more. And if you want to get creative, check out all our art hacks on this channel.